Now that we've done that, we're going to take a look at sort of an initial setup of WordPress. And we're going to start that off by logging in to WordPress. Now, with this default WordPress theme that was installed, our login is down here under Meta. You can click on the login button and it takes you to the login screen. So this is where you would put your username that you set up. So mine was byobrick. And let's see. And my password was this. Login. Okay. So now that we've logged in, you're seeing a whole different view of WordPress, right? Here's the front side of WordPress, or the public side of WordPress, of your website. And this is the back side, or the admin side of WordPress. This is why you're going to use your password all the time, because it's on the admin side that you upload images, that you create pages and posts, that you install plugins, that you install themes, that you modify things. Really, all the work that you do on your website is done from the admin dashboard, or from the admin side of your site. And the way you get into that admin side of your site is by clicking on the login. And once you've clicked on that login, it takes you to the login screen. You put in your username and password, and it brings you immediately to this. Now, while we are here, unfortunately, Bluehost and WordPress both install what I consider to be junkware. It installs stuff that is not useful to you, but is useful to them. Either it provides them a means of selling you something, or in some way connecting with you, or even the little Hello Dolly plugin. You know, it's cute, but it's not useful. And so the very first thing I want to do is start with a clean slate, which in my mind means getting rid of the junkware. And so the very first thing I do when I do a site is I come over here to plugins. Now we're going to talk about this a lot more in a moment, but first I want to get rid of the junkware. So coming over here to plugins, go to installed plugins. I have all of these plugins installed. I'm just going to put a check mark in this box here, which then selects them all. Take bulk action, and I'm going to deactivate them and hit apply. And now the plugins are there, but they're no longer functioning. And then we're going to leave Akismet, because Akismet is a very useful plugin once you have it set up. But it just gives you messages all the time until you set it up. So we're just deactivating it for the time being. But then I'm going to delete Hello Dolly, Jetpack for WordPress, and Mojo Marketplace. Go back to bulk actions again and say delete. Hit apply. Yes, I want to delete the files and data. Now I only have one plugin installed. When I get to my dashboard, it's nice and clean. I don't have ads. I don't have invitations to buy stuff. I have a nice clean dashboard to start with. Okay, now that we have a clutter-free dashboard, I'm going to take a quick little tour around the dashboard. Now really, the dashboard has three sections to it. The first section is the admin toolbar, and that's this right across the top here. Right, and so this little link here will take you to various sites on WordPress. This here will, if you click on this, it essentially toggles back and forth between your admin and your public side of the site. So you can just toggle back and forth. And in fact, the menus are different when you toggle back and forth. For example, the menu here just says Visit Site. Visit Site and clicking on this are exactly the same thing. When you come back over here, though, now you've got go to your dashboard, and then places in the dashboard. So you can go to Themes, Customize Widgets, Menus, Background, and Header. So there are new choices here once you have, depending upon which side of the site you're on. The next part of this is your comment count. This shows you how many comments that you have that are awaiting moderation. We're going to talk about comments more later. This is the quick new toolbar. So you can create a new post, you can create a new page, you can add new media, or you can create a new user. So this is a real quick way of getting to something, essentially by saying add new or new post. Right, new page is if you hover over page and you can say add new there. They essentially do the same thing. Over here it says hello to you, shows your avatar if you've got an avatar set up or a gravatar set up. It allows you to edit your profile and log out, and shows you your display name. We'll set up our profile here in a few minutes, but that's what's going on here. So, and then there are two other things in this admin toolbar. There is screen options and there is help. If you click on help, there can be useful stuff for you, right? The help isn't as great as you might like it to be, and some people have nice help add-ons. So you can use this. I mean, if you're not clear on what to do when you're on a specific admin screen, you can always click on the help tab to see if there's something there that's useful to you. The other thing is screen options. Now, screen options gives you a choice of stuff that you may want to keep open or closed. So if you click on welcome, now the little welcome thing shows up. WordPress news shows you this. I'm going to uncheck quick draft for just a moment. Close screen options. Now, something to know is that screen options and help are different on every admin page you go to. So if you expect to see something on a specific admin page and you don't find it, go over here to screen options and look and see if there's a box for you to check. Okay, so that is your admin toolbar. Then you have your admin menu. Now your admin menu gives you access to all of the potential activities that you can do as an administrator. And so, whether it's add new page or go to all your pages, whether it's going to your comments, whether it's setting up things on your theme or installing plugins or adjusting users, you have all of these different administrative things that you can do. And if you're working on a small screen, you can collapse the menu down so that all you see are just the icons. And then when you hover over the icons, these little sub menus kind of fly out for you. Then the third part of your dashboard is the widget area, or the admin widget area here. Now that's on home on the dashboard. When you go to a different menu, say you go to posts, then you don't have widgets here anymore. Now you have the option of adding or viewing or editing posts and that kind of stuff. So the content of this changes, but when you're at the dashboard page specifically, you have these admin widgets. And so, this is essentially a blog feed telling you some WordPress news. This shows you recently published posts and pages, maybe recent comments. For example, if you look at mine, once you get started with this kind of stuff, it can get there can be all kinds of stuff going on, right? So I've got a request to update to WordPress 3.9. A wishlist member wants me to update. I've got some stuff. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to hide that message. I've just got all kinds of messages going on here. And then my at a glance says that there are 179 pages, 185 posts, 23,136 comments. This doesn't actually show me everything because most of my stuff is in courses and seminars and live answers. There are really about 3,000 pages, if you will, on the site. It tells you what version of WordPress, what your theme is. It shows that it's protected. Well, it just shows you all kinds of stuff, right? Here's my activity. So here's a bunch of comments that people have posted recently. These are forum posts that I have yet to go view and answer. I have other things in here too, that are on my dashboard as well. So the dashboard can have lots of stuff on it and can become fairly busy. When you first start off, it's actually pretty simple. Okay, so that's the admin screen. Now I'm just going to take you on a real quick tour of the admin menus. This updates button shows you everything that is available for you to update. So right now all the plugins are updated, all the themes are updated, and WordPress isn't updated. If we go look at the same thing here on my site, I actually have a lot of updates to do. That's what this here is showing me, is that I have 21 updates. I'm not quite sure why that says 1, but I have 21 things to update on this site. Update WordPress. I have a whole bunch of plugins that want some kind of updating, and then I have 3 themes that want to be updated. So that's what's here, is your updates. Under posts, well, I should show it to you. What posts shows you is all of the posts that you have, and so you can edit the posts. You can delete them, you can do all kinds of things with them depending upon how complex your site is. But if we come over to our more simple version of this, go to posts, obviously it comes pre-installed with one post. That's the Hello World post, and if you click on it to edit it, here's all it says, right? Welcome to WordPress. This is your first post. Edit it or delete it and then start blogging. Okay, the add new dialog is a place for you to add a post. Okay, we'll talk about this more in a few minutes. So that's for posts, and you may know that WordPress has essentially 2 types of content. It has posts and it has pages. Posts serve like blog posts, right? If you've got a regular old blog, then every time you do a blog post, you would create a new post. And posts, show up on your blog page. Right? We're going to talk about that also more later, but nevertheless, posts show up on your blog page, and then you have pages. Pages don't show up on your blog page. Pages stand alone all by themselves. Most everything you see here at sort of at the top level of my website are pages. So my dashboard is a page. My profile is a page. Video lessons is a page. Event registration is a page. Member benefits is a page, right? These are all pages. Now, if you want to go to my blog is not a page, and it displays, blog posts, right? So it just shows a whole bunch of blog posts. Okay, if you're going to create pages, you're going to do it here. And we're going to talk more about the distinction between the two and when you would use one over the other. Comments, essentially a place for you to edit your comments. Look, I already have a spam comment. That was fast. I installed WordPress, and within the time I installed this WordPress, I got a spam comment. Okay, appearance is a place where you can set your themes, do some customization, set up widgets and menus, and that kind of stuff. We're going to spend a bunch of time on that. Plugins, we did a quick look at plugins here when we deleted all the junkware, but plugins is a place for you to install plugins, activate them, update them, delete them, that kind of thing. Users, most websites are only going to have one user or maybe a couple of users, right? BYOB website has thousands of users. What do I have? I'm not even sure it's going to tell me how many users I have. I think 5,300 or something like that. But if we come down to users, note how much busier my admin menu is. This is because I have lots of plugins that are installed, and those plugins add other aspects to the admin menu. But if we just go down here to users, I have 5,357 users, and in this case you're going to see all my users right here, right? So anyway, in this case there's only one user, me. And we'll work on the user profile in a few minutes. Okay, tools. The primary tools are importing and exporting, and this isn't really something you need to worry about at the moment. Not on your first website, in any case, your first WordPress website. To the extent that you're going to create your WordPress website by importing information from another site, you're going to want to use the import tool, and you can find videos on my site about that. But we're not going to really talk about that now. Settings, we're going to spend a bunch of time today in settings where you can set up all the sort of the basic stuff of your site, get some of the basic stuff done. But what should be obvious to you is this admin menu here is the menu that you use to get to all of the things that you as the administrator of your site are going to need to do. And this is where you'll find it all. Let's see. Okay. So I guess the next thing we'll do is just update our user profile. And you can do that either by your profile, which is, since it's only me, or if you're here, you can hit edit. Note that when I'm on the user menu, it shows me the first menu item when I click on it, but then the rest of the other menu items stay dropped down. They don't fold up, right? So if I go to pages, I've got all pages and add new. If I go to plugins, it says installed plugins, add new, and editor. If I go to users, all users, add new, and your profile are here. Okay. So I'm just going to click your profile. The same thing is up here. You can also click on edit my profile. It all does the same thing. Now, first thing it does is it gives you a choice of changing your color scheme. All right, so we could choose ectoplasm instead of default. You got all kinds of options here for fooling around with it to the extent that you really care. Turns out I don't really care, so I'm just going to use the default. Enable keyboard shortcuts for comment moderation. Just leave that unchecked. The only time you're going to want keyboard shortcuts for comment moderation is if you have tons and tons of comments all the time and you're really having to whip through them. Toolbar, show toolbar when viewing the site. For administrators, I think it's essential because it's very useful for you to be able to jump back and forth and do things from the front side of your site by using this tool. So we leave it checked. But username, this is my username. You can't change it, but you will want to put your first and last name in. Whoops. First and last name in. Because once you've done that, this gives you a chance to choose sort of a nickname to the extent that you are concerned about SEO. You're going to want to use your real name for this kind of stuff. And then display name publicly, Rick Anderson. Because if you're going to try to integrate this with your Google author profile or your Google Plus account or any of those things that are valuable for search engine optimization purposes, you want to make sure your nickname and your display name and all this stuff is accurate and is there. You can put contact info in. You don't really have to do anything else here, just so long as you put your correct name information in. And when it says display name publicly as, this means, for example, if the theme that you're using displays your name next to your post, so written by Rick Anderson on May 15th. It could say written by BYOBRick, which would be horrible. Would it be okay to use the name of your website as your nickname? Probably not. Again, the cutting edge of search engine optimization right now is Google authorship. And if you don't use your real name as your nickname, then you're going to lose the benefit of that Google authorship search engine boost. So I would say this is the place for you to use your real name. If you don't want your real name on your website, then you would do something else here. But chances are, if you're a small business owner and you're doing this to make money for your business, your real name is going to be important here. So you can put in biographical information. This biographical information can be used by some plugins to display it on your author page and that kind of stuff. You can also set up a new password here. But somebody says one exception to the Google authorship nickname thing is that you can use a nickname if you have it established as a pen name. I do actually have a member that does it that way. They have a pen name that they use, and so they've got a pen name profile and that kind of stuff. But that's a very unusual circumstance and applies to very, very few people. Okay, so that is the profile. Okay,